Oh my god. Oh my god. I swear, I don't know how, like. Well, I guess if you're a streamer and you do this, like, every single day, it just becomes second nature to you, but, it's been so long since I was streaming, I've pretty much completely forgotten how to do most of this stuff. I had to, like, re educate myself on, um, what is this? OBS, Open Broadcaster Studio, and the new YouTube live streaming thing, which is all like weird and different than the last version. I guess it's slightly better, but I don't know. So yeah, here we are again, just taking a look at the world map and see if there's any interesting sims that I might be able to explore. Kind of late tonight, right? 6 o'clock. Sun went down like an hour and a half ago. Anyway, how is everybody tonight? Good, good. I've got the chat going over on the my right side screen, so if you chat, I will probably see it. I can't guarantee because it's kind of like at my peripheral vision, but I'll try to like keep an eye out for it. So this like little installation looks kind of interesting. Utopia. I'm thinking this is probably some kind of like role-playing experience, just because there's so many sims and stuff. I guess I'll see if I can go there. Well, that's good at least. Group inviter. I always decline these. So boring. Huh, that's funny. There's a storyteller last name on that avatar. I'm Neo Toy Story, and she's Leah Storyteller. That's a pretty nice phone booth. It's got more details than mine did, but inferior topology. Probably cheaper and less prims. So yeah, I took a look at. Is this even a real person? She's like a fake avatar. Utopia Eco Communities. So yeah. For those of you who have joined the stream and you've never seen me do this before, I just pick a random sim on the world map and I teleport there. At least I see if I can teleport there. There's no like pre vetting or anything like that. It's just totally random. So sometimes the sims are horrible garbage, and other times they're really interesting, and sometimes I fall in the water like a dumbass. So you just never know what you're gonna get. It's pretty random. And because Second Life is sort of like a living world, this is cool. Because Second Life is a living world, sometimes things change. So even call elevator. I'm gonna get crushed, aren't I? It's gonna be like in a video game where you get smashed by the elevator coming down and there's just a blood puddle. Viscera. I don't see an elevator. And they turned off flying, which is really annoying, even though there's a way around that. I didn't want to wait for that elevator. But yeah, I'm very scatterbrained, so I'm just gonna be like babbling, and sometimes it'll be coherent, sometimes you won't have any idea what I'm talking about, and I apologize for that, but it's hard to focus and navigate at the same time. But basically what we have here is some kind of like, I mean, I can tell just from a quick initial assessment, it's like a green technology, green future, kind of like proof of concept. exposition. It shows you all the different, like, eco-friendly. Oh, there's the elevator. It looks like it's leaving without me. Damn, I could have taken that cool elevator. Let me see if there's a way to, like, sit up in here. Yeah! Alright, now I'm aboard the elevator. This old Neo Toy Story, so he's an old dog and he still knows some old tricks from the golden days of Second Life. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Just floating along on my little personalized pod car here. Gonna get the grand tour. Wow, this is quite the system that they had to design. Let me tell you, this is no joke. Like, Second Life is so crude for making stuff like this that it's actually, like, fluid and easy to use and operating well. Like, this is amazing that this is working as well as it is. It takes a lot of LSL coding chops to pull this kind of stuff off, so I'm kind of impressed. Even though, like, the construction is, like, super crude, just, like, straight up prims from, like, you know, the early aughts. So, should I get out, or departing in 1 minute? Okay, so I have, like, 1 minute to walk around, and then I can, like, get back on or something, I guess. Oh, cool, there's even a, like, a little ticker thing. Ugh. Eagle Peak teleporter. Oh, there's like a fake eagle sprite thing here. Wow, that's some old school construction. A little hangout spot in the Eagle's Eyrie. What do we got here? Gliders. Okay, this could be fun. Oh, then I suppose it gives you a glider or something. Oh, I have to be part of the group. That's kind of lame. Well, this is like a role-playing experience, sort of, that predates the actual experience system in Second Life. There's another eagle up there that looks slightly more well-rendered. So I guess I'm gonna get back. Oh wow, 3 seconds to go. Look at that, just made it right in time. I hope that was the right car. Well, what are we waiting for? Oh, maybe I have to sit. Huh. Yeah, you know what I was saying about these technologies being, like, inherently unreliable? Yeah, I'm trying to sit. Left click for ticket. Okay, there we go. Now I'm sitting. Maybe it'll take off. Or not. 24-hour travel pass. I think I'm just gonna go, like, mountaineering, because it seems like the train system is not very responsive. How do I even be able to jump over this railing? Come on, come on. Jump's not working. Fine. So I had to go off-road to get out of that situation. Just gonna follow the pathway, I guess. So yeah, I was like, looking back through some of my older videos recently, and I noticed my Second Life videos pretty reliably get a lot of views, which is kind of weird. I mean, I'm not really, like, I don't really do this to get views, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to actually get some views when I release videos, so that's one of the reasons I decided to do another one of these Second Life videos. This is pretty cool. But honestly, they're a lot of fun. Like, someone left their ticket. If the Sims are cool, they're a lot of fun. Nothing in there. Click for free e-bike. It's like a bamboo bicycle. Yeah, so this whole thing is probably connected to some like real world thing. Especially since they have so many Sims, you know, and they're paying like a pretty hefty price. Oh yeah, so let me post the SL URL into the chat in case anybody wants to check out this island. Damn, I really hate it when they turn flying off. It's like, if you're a sim owner, like, don't do that, please. It's like one of the worst, most annoying things that you can do. Ugh, sorry, I like lost the plot there. I was looking down at my microphone controls and I started walking off into the water. So build quality is really low on these Sims. It's just not because it couldn't be better, but because this is like a vintage build, I would say. Let's do a little assessment here of the land. Go village, sustainability, community, blah blah blah. That's my kind of sandwich. Group owned by the community. Ugh, what was I even gonna look at? Alright, I was gonna check the age of an object. Let's just see like how old these objects are. Does it tell you the date anymore? There you go, details. 2018. That's not as old as I thought. Oh, 2003. Yeah, so of course. Wow, this place has been here since 2003? Seriously. How can that be? Or at least this structure. That's nuts. That's like what? That's not even possible. That's like predates a lot of things. Come on, guy. Ugh, if only they hadn't turned off flying. They like want you to go through their little rat maze, but their rat maze doesn't really work, so it's like yeah, I mean those solar panel textures look like they're from 2003, that's for sure. Yeah, solar concentrator array. Yeah, thermal solar plant. I'm just the right person to be touring the sim because all these technologies, they're like right up in my wheelhouse. Like I study this stuff religiously, all the new innovations for ecological sustainability and the sustainability of civilization and so forth. Like for example, aeolian power, wind turbines, because of some fundamental laws of physics, they're actually not sustainable. And do you know that it can cost up to $1 billion to create a single one of those giant wind turbines? It's ridiculous. It's like practically like nuclear power. I mean, at least it's not as horrifically dangerous, you know, as nuclear power can be. Even then, hey, the extinction symbol. Wow, that's new. I mean, that's pretty cool to see that because it's a more recent development. Looks like they have a cob house here. Yeah, anyway, so wind turbines kind of like a big scam, which is sad. And they kill birds. However, like, honestly, even a world full of wind turbines, like if that was the only thing we used to generate our electricity, would still be better than burning fossil fuels or using all nuclear reactors or whatever the hell you want, because it's all unsustainable, right? Every single technology that humans have ever created to produce electricity is unsustainable because our civilization's built on petroleum. Without petroleum, we wouldn't be able to produce anything at all, pretty much, aside from primitive Stone Age technology. So, and now that we have all this energy from petroleum, though, we can do things like build solar panels and build solar arrays. I don't have the key to get inside. That's stupid. Come on, this is like an eco resort. What the hell? I'm supposed to be able to see everything. Of course, the inside doors are unsecured. I wouldn't mind living in this house. It's kind of nice. But yeah, so like once you... What the hell? This is like a houseboat? Crazy. Oh yeah, of course it is. Kind of a weird, ugly houseboat, but you know, whatever. Always wanted to live on a houseboat in real life, or actually my true fantasy... Oh sweet, flying's turned back on in this zone. My true fantasy is to own a seaplane. Like a vintage 1940s, and then like retrofit it with an electric engine. And have like solar panels on the wings and stuff. Oh my god, everything's locked up tight. Why is anybody's guess? Like, what is in here that's so important and special that you'd want to lock it up? It doesn't look like anything worth locking up to me. Alright, I need to stop flying so that I can... Yeah, where was I? I got way off on a tangent there. Talking about fantasies and stuff. Oh yeah, right. So, because we extracted all this energy out of the earth via, fossil fuels, we can create things next level technology like photovoltaic panels, which can then create energy that is not directly derived from fossil fuels. It's still indirectly derived from fossil fuels, so... Wow, a pirate ship. How original. I'm just kidding, this is a totally different island I'm on right here. So yeah, anyway, like... You think it's an escape of the like sustainability trap that you could create, like, for example, here's like the next tier, right? God, that flying sound is way too fucking loud. Like, say you use your petroleum, like a diesel generator or whatever, to build, let's just hypothetically, because the supply chain's a lot more complicated than this, but I'm going to take a few shortcuts in my exposition. You create a factory using that energy, petroleum energy, that then can produce solar panels. Then once you have enough solar panels, you don't need the diesel generator anymore. So you can use photovoltaic electricity to produce more solar panels, theoretically. And then you're basically supposedly out of the... sustainability trap, right? And you don't need to use petroleum anymore. But how long are those solar panels going to last? So it's kind of a scam too, right? Because eventually their efficiency is going to go down. You're going to need more panels. And yes, you can keep using the old solar panels to make new solar panels. But that's really just a small section of the overall equation, right? Because you have to keep the labor force alive during this, because even if you had a roboticized workforce creating the solar panels using photovoltaic energy, you're still eventually going to reach the end of the life cycle of these things. Like, it would probably take millennia to build up a completely automated system where the factories and everything are all fully automatic, and you don't have to rely on any external energy source. It's all about like capturing the light of the sun and turning it into whatever the hell you please. But like I was saying, so your solar panels start to break down, and you're like, okay, we need new solar panels, right? And you can't use fossil fuels, so you have to use the solar panels that you made with fossil fuels to create new solar panels. And who's going to do all that work? It's not going to be robots, it's going to be human beings. And human beings don't run on solar power. I mean, we do a little bit, but ultimately what we need is food. And food, of course, cannot really be grown using just photovoltaic energy. You need fertilizer and stuff like that. And of course, you can create a certain amount of fertilizer using photovoltaics, but there's a lot more to it. So you gotta consider all these factors. So ultimately, what you have is a very asymmetric system where you have some parts of it are still utilizing fossil fuels, and this isn't because it wouldn't be possible to create a completely sustainable civilization. Oh, this water wheel looks really good. That's a neat effect on there. Is that a normal map or a specular map or something? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's probably a normal map, I would guess, and a specular. It's neat. Yeah, so the real problem is that there's so many people already. It's like momentum, inertia, what do they call it? I think it is basically just momentum, where it's like you've got 7 billion people, a population that's increasing inevitably, and all those people need to eat, therefore you need to keep feeding them. You can't just break out of the whole chain and be like, okay, we're gonna take 10,000 years to convert every aspect of society to photovoltaic energy that doesn't require any fossil fuel derivatives. You can't do that because people need to keep eating during the interim while you're advancing. So your only choice is to keep using fossil fuels and other non-renewable resources to maintain civilization for all those billions of people who, whether or not they realize it or appreciate it, and this certainly is not a contiguous sort of spectrum, have become accustomed to a certain quality and standard of living. Obviously, people in the third world aren't accustomed to a first world lifestyle, but every day that goes by, they are introduced to more luxuries and amenities and so forth that creates this sort of like infinite bidding war where people are constantly struggling for a better life and are demanding more and more luxuries and so forth, which is fair, right? I mean, I feel like it's unfair for just a small portion of the world to not only own and control and disperse the majority of the planet's resources, but to be like the sole beneficiaries of those benefits. Beneficiaries of benefits, that's kind of redundant, but you know what I mean. It's like, why does the first world get to have all the expensive champagne? Like, why can't the poor oh, it actually dumped me on the ground. I've never seen that happen before. It's like some kind of thing that like anti-aircraft turns flying off. This is very similar to like some of Mazdar's ecologically friendly architecture. If you don't know what Masdar is, I highly recommend looking it up. It's MASDAR City. It's a project that the United Arab Emirates, or fucking disgusting fascist freaks, have started. But I mean, they got all that oil money, so they have been doing a lot of projects trying to diversify their obscene wealth portfolios, and Masdar is kind of one of the breakaway civilization super science cities that they started that uses all ecological principles and stuff, which ironically is not anywhere near being carbon neutral like they had planned when the city was established. But yeah, check it out. Masdar City. It's a pretty cool case study. Kind of similar to Biodome in some respects, very utopian and whatnot. So where was I? Yeah, feeding the population and distribution of what's the word? Inconsistent distribution of resources and benefits and stuff. Just kind of going in circles at this point. There's a bunch of boutiques here. Like, here we go, like, in the center of the ecologically minded metropolis is just the garden variety consumerism that you expect to find in any strip mall, because it's like humans can never let go of that ever. Those bell peppers. Look at those beautiful bell peppers. Low poly as they may be, they are beautiful. Sunflowers, those are nice. Like, there's object profile. Let's see, made this Kyla Firelight. About 9 years old. It's pretty cool. Cabbages, carrots, with accurate carrot tops. You don't see that very often. So this garden's kind of cool. Some pots. Whoa. Those are high quality normal maps on there. Or is that topology? Is that... Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, look at the poly count on those pots. Oh my god. It's just like solid yellow. There's so many polygons. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's a lot of like resource use. Yeah, anyway, so I think the central theme of all of that nonsense I was spewing is like fairness, you know, because like it's just not fair to deny people opportunities just because they were born in a place where they don't have access to those opportunities. So in other words, everybody in the world has the right to access and achieve the level of quote-unquote prosperity and consumption that we have here in the first world. That's kind of the premise of sort of the doomsday philosophy of modern geosocial politics, because like the problem with that is, of course, is that it's always the ecosystem that pays the price for humans striving to better themselves and obtain all this prosperity, because ultimately what we have is the first world has a completely unsustainable way of life and like a system of living and being and whatnot that is just like utterly selfish and does not think at all about the future of anything and just is all about exploiting the ecosystem and turning precious living things that have existed on this planet for millions of years in a single generation into like money that they can then put in their pockets, you know, and money that is dead and can never ever again, no matter how much of it's accumulated, restore the things that have been lost due to the pillaging of the ecosystem. So everybody in the world wants to copy that lifestyle, and quote-unquote liberals think that that is a good idea, or at least that people shouldn't be prohibited from copying that lifestyle. Well, I say the first world needs to be drawn down, like, massively, so that everyone in the first world is living more or less a lifestyle like they live in the third world. And then the third world needs to, like, give up their aspirations of trying to live a first world lifestyle, because that's batshit insane. It's batshit insane that we're living that. But see, it's a system where none of that's possible, because, and that's the huge frustration that everybody in my like segment feels in my demographic, because it's like there is no way to get out of this trap. Because on one hand you have like social justice, and on the other hand you have physical reality and limits, and those two things just can't see eye to eye, because the more justice you have in the modern world where people are batshit crazy, the more you destroy the ecosystem. And the less justice you have, the less reason there is for people to even exist, because an unjust world is a living hell. It's not a place you want to actually inhabit, and for good reason. I mean, fascism and you get what I'm saying, though. It's so complicated. So, like, yeah, when you look at like a wind turbine, or when I look at a wind turbine, all that stuff just goes through my head in the blink of an eye, because it's like, I know the facts and figures, I know the data. It's not sustainable. None of it is. So it's all just kind of like an illusion. In which case, where's the truth? Where's the thread to grasp that you can hold on to and pull yourself out of this like swirling gyre of muck and nihilism? I mean, the answer is there's no thread, and you shouldn't even try. Like, you don't need to pull yourself out, because it's just the way things are. To quote John Wayne Jet Plane Jr., why are things the way they are? There's no answer to that question. It's things are just the way they are, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can try to like steer the Titanic away from the iceberg, but like honestly, we're already like in the SS submarine Titanic, like underwater in the Marianas Trench level of ecological and carbon deficit and so forth. So it's like, it's okay, because when you're at a state like that where you can't get any lower, you can only go up. And like, this was my favorite Obama quote, and like, I was a fan of Obama for like a very short period of time, and he had a few really good quotes that I still use sort of ironically nowadays. And he said that what's the best way to get out of a hole is to quit digging, right? So chances are we can't save civilization. Wow, I love this piece. I love everything about this. This is fucking gorgeous. Oh my god. Oh my god. Those textures just rezzed, and like my brain exploded. Holy cow, look at that copper furniture. Oh, please don't be please don't be Apple Fall. Oh god damn it, I knew. Oh my god. You guys know the whole Apple Fall story. I mean, the legacy of my years of trial and tribulations of coming across Apple Fall artifacts that are just mind-numbingly amazing, and every time it's like I'm doing a free commercial for Apple Fall, and like that makes me feel bad because I like to be unbiased. But what are you gonna do? I mean, this is just jaw-droppingly amazing work. Oh my god, look at this basket. Look at this freaking basket. Like, oh my god, Apple Fall, why are you building stuff for Second Life? You should be working for like the biggest AAA game titles. These props are jaw-dropping. Like, they're so good, they make me want to like never ever use SketchUp or Blender ever again, because it's like, why would I even try to even come close to matching this level of like perfection? That's what it is. It's perfection. No bone about it. Although not all of Apple Fall's stuff is like fantastic. Some of it's not like 100%, but that was something else. Anyway, yeah, I have to say, like, alright, I'm gonna stop talking now about Apple Fall, because it just, like Obama says, quit digging. Yeah, so what can we realistically do? And the answer is just quit digging. Like, not because we're ever gonna get out of the hole, because we're not, but do you really want to just keep digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper? I mean, eventually you're gonna hit like the core of the planet and just melt, right? Because there's just nothing but lava down there. And that's kind of our situation, like climate change, carbon, greenhouse gases. We're just digging towards the core of the planet, hollowing out the planet. There's a metaphor for you. That's one of my favorites. It's like the hollowing is a universal concept that scales to pretty much every conceivable aspect of society, where we have all these forces that are like little spoons, just like scooping the essence and the vitality out of the things in the world that existed, like I was saying earlier, for millions and millions of years before humans came along. And this isn't just a hollowing of the physical realm, like sucking oil out of the ground and hollowing the freshwater aquifers of the world to feed the insatiable thirst of the human animal, but it's like spooning out the very soul. And I think I've seen every single thing on all of these sims. Like, is that even possible? This like ruinous area over here looks kind of cool. Let's see if I can fly over there. Yeah, so like the attention deficit problem, the distraction, the like Instagram cultishness towards the glossy chrome and superficiality of ideas versus the substance of the sort of like previous paradigm of human psychology and exploration. That like we spent tens of thousands of years building up just this monument to ideation and critical thinking, and it turned into a substance. Like, if you go into any major city in the world nowadays and you walk around, you see the old city, the technology and the intelligence that went into creating that old city is unrivaled. Even nowadays, like, if you take a building like Freedom Tower, you know, the whatever it's called, that thing that replaced the World Trade Centers, and compare it to like the Empire State Building, it's like one of those buildings is trash and one of them is a timeless relic of a golden age where humans had reached the pinnacle of science and intellectual development. And I'm going to let you figure out on your own which one is which. But yeah, so the hollowing is like we're using these spoons to just scoop out the very soul of humanity, one little Instagram post at a time, one little like Twitter mention at a time, like prostituting ourselves to these false gods of the modern technocratic age. And so like spiritually, civilization is becoming bankrupt in a way that it wasn't in sort of the age of enlightenment, the age of materialism, because materialism has this weird way of petrifying or like replacing. Like metaphorically, I think materialism is kind of like the mineral deposits that flow inside the wood fibers and replace them until they atrophy, and then it just becomes it turns from a living thing into a stone, basically. And that's kind of how I see the transformation of civilization. And obviously, if you have that kind of a scenario where civilization is atrophying and losing its soul, it's not it's not an ideal state for problem solving, especially when you have basically the most challenging problems of the 21st century are all sort of converging at once upon us, because it's not just things like climate change, or like the biodiversity crisis, or running out of fresh water, or ocean acidification, or like there are so many. There's this, it really is like a slow motion end of the world, pretty much, which is kind of fascinating because I always try to put the most positive spin on it that I can, which to me is that, like, what a time to be alive, right? It's obvious all this stuff is apple fall. I'm not even going to bother inspecting it. Ugh. Just can't get away from it. Look at these gingerbread cookies and stuff. Seriously, apple fall, you guys need to, like, get in touch with me and pay me the big dollars to promote your products, because I think I'd make a pretty good spokesperson for Apple Fall, especially since it seems like every video I do has some kind of like detailed analysis, oh my god, of some of their products. Taking a while for all this stuff to load. Look at the way they stack these records, like artisanal record stacking. Actually, that's like not a realistic fold. Stack. That would take a long time to like prop those up physically like that. They're just trying to fill up the space. Probably got tired of modeling record jackets. I feel that. So yeah, what a time to be alive, right? It's amazing. Like, we literally, we get to be who the Mayans always wanted to be. Like, they wanted to see the end of days, and like the great serpent coming and eating its tail and devouring itself and leaving nothing behind. But that's like our civilization. Like, we're owning it. We're totally owning it. I'm owning it. So that's why I'm kind of an anachronihilist, because I feel like it's okay to accept that to some extent the human animal is a monster, is a demon of sorts. That doesn't mean you have to be like the worst demon all the time, but you should educate yourself and recognize the capacity for humans to be monsters, because not only will it help you navigate this insane world that we live in, but it'll kind of protect you too and insulate you from the psychosis that's kind of ever presently trying to hollow us out as individuals and gnaw away at our self-confidence and our intellect and so forth. Wow, look at the details on these. Oh, this is so weird that I came across the way from that sim where it had like Prim Constructions from like 2003, and then now I'm like in this Apple Fall zone where everything looks like even better than the most modern AAA titles that you would like. Look at this mason jar. It's not their fault that it has those weird artifacts. That's a Z order transparency problem that has been plaguing 3D engines for a really long time. But that's like, look at how good that is. Like, just the baking of the textures, all the art supplies, highlighters. I've seen those in real life. I want to explore this whole, like, this is like a little artist's retreat type place right here. It's pretty cool. And all the doors are animated. Look at these little like pallet seats and stuff. So yeah, the world is like so beautiful and so ugly at the same time, and humans are so beautiful and so ugly and all that. It's like, after a while it just becomes so precious, it's just like, it's kind of tedious to overanalyze it, and honestly just living is a full-time job. So what's wrong with that, really? Because all of us all together, we can try to stop digging, stop hollowing, but it is what it is. My partner says that that's the kind of thing that assholes say, and she's totally right. If you hear somebody say that, it is what it is, they're probably being an asshole. Okay, well this whole zone is like loading really slowly. Video media communications. I don't know what this whole thing is, but it's kind of interesting. At least there were some high quality assets in there. There's a lot of these art installations in virtual worlds. Like, they do such a good job of creating an experience for people to explore, but how people explore them and experience them, there's so much freedom. Like me, I just dropped in a totally different sim, and then I started to like just fly and explore around. So I'm clearly not doing this the way that was probably intended to be experienced, but like I'm creating my own experience out of this basically. But I mean, I think the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's good for experienced creators to notice. Wow, look at these flying bugs. These are cool. Is this a dragonfly? Oh, come on. I was already focused on it. Wow, this is a really cool little model thing here. Is that using pathfinding? Oh, a river otter. I can't wait to show this to my partner. That's her like spirit animal. Oh my god, it's so adorable. That is a really good model. I think I might buy one of these. Little legs paddling. Oh, it's a lot of polygons. 12 years old, huh? A swimming otter. That's cool. And oh wow, there's a dancing otter too. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. That's great. It's the photogenic otter. I really like those dragonflies, they're so cool. Do they actually like perch and land on stuff? Really? That's sophisticated. Alright, let's see who made these. Same person as the otters. I'll have to check that guy out. Yeah, it's a mindfuck. But yeah, so we can get back on track. What I was trying to say is that when you design an experience for people, and you have an actual intention, like a narrative, and you want people to follow a specific route and expose themselves to certain things in a certain order, you should like figure that out beforehand and really like establish it in a very solid and coherent way, because if someone's just wandering around, they have no idea what the hell the experience is supposed to be like. I mean, there's the only clues I have. I mean, I'm like Sherlock Holmes here, walking around, and I see these like little signboards or whatever. Oh, I gotta go check that out. A little building over there on that rock looks exciting. So like, I mean, there's some clues that I can glean from the signage and stuff. Let's see if I can fly out there. I think it's outside the sim boundary. Oh no, it's just on a sim that I can't reach. But luckily my eye in the sky can still see what's happening. Yeah, I don't know, the takeaway from all that stuff I was talking about before, wow, that's beautiful work, is that no one knows the answer, and it's too big for any of us to hold in our heads at any given time. Like, it's something that you can only approach in like two ways, really. I mean, let me just say first of all that everything I'm saying is just my opinion, so like of course there's probably other ways and stuff, but just from my point of view, there's two ways to approach these kinds of things, and that is to try to comprehend things in a piecemeal fashion, like one chunk at a time, and just as things come at you, try to comprehend those puzzles, decode the mysteries, find your own unique way of accepting or rejecting the information that you can synthesize from those experiences. And let's see the other method. What's the other method? I know I had another method. It's hard to keep your train of thought when you're navigating a virtual world. Maybe that's the only option. Maybe that's all you can do. I like these little dioramas. It's like a photo studio in every single building. Like, I've seen that sandcastle around a lot before. I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while and check out all these fine details. It's kind of cool. How big are those things? Like about as big as my head. Looks like someone forgot their rainbow jacket. I like these transparent chairs. It's pretty cool. Sushi. Wow. There's some really high quality assets in this build on this sim. Everybody's looking for their little piece of paradise, right? This is like more from that same set that we saw earlier, only it's like a different configuration. It's paints, I guess, yeah. But they were nail polished there for a second. Alright, I explored that whole area. So now I'm going to come over here. Explored that little house. I think I explored this too. Yeah, right, this was actually where I started. But I don't think I've been over here yet. Oh, one of my favorite birds. What are these called again? These are the diving birds that they actually tie a rope around their neck in Asia and like force them to fish for them. Cormorants, that's what these are. And they actually do this. I swear to God, I just saw one of these the other day down at the jetty near where I live, and it was out sunning itself on one of these like foghorn things that sticks out of the water, and it was just sitting there like this for probably an hour, just soaking up the sun. They just sit there like that. They don't flap their wings really or anything. The crabs, this is kind of cool. I almost want to walk through this whole area. It's so inviting. But I think I'm going to try to fly up there instead because it's a little more interesting. Sorry for how loud the flying sound is. There's a way to turn it down, but I'm just kind of anxious about fiddling with the audio controls since they can cause trouble. Sound effects are pretty cool. Sleepy Mr. Fox there. Yeah, I honestly can't remember the other option that I was thinking of. That's how like ephemeral my stream of consciousness is. Hey, maybe I'll finally get some answers here. There's a big signboard. The Hero's Journey. New student in orientation of Peninsula College. Who knows if that's like a real thing or not. So I'm learning how to become an academic by following this pathway through a tunnel. And there's the cute little bobcat and his stack of really expensive, overpriced textbooks that I will have to purchase from a predatory corporation at a 3,000% markup. No, just kidding. But yeah, that's real life. Ugh. Uh-oh. This really is an ordeal. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm gonna have bats on my bald head. Because, you know, normally they get caught in your hair, but because I don't have any hair, they're just gonna, like, bounce off of my skull. I'm following the bobcat. That must be, like, the mascot of the college. And, like, I'm wondering, is it a real college, or is it just a fictitious Second Life college? When do I graduate? That's what I want to know. Oh, I found the treasure chamber of knowledge. This is the guy that read too many books. He got the key for success, but he died. It's really a sad story. But he got a lot of pussy before he died, as you can see. Sorry, that was probably beyond the pale. The treasure chest of knowledge, or brilliant ideas, or something. Maybe the hero's journey treasure chest. Research. That's a nice incandescent bulb. I think I'm going the wrong way now. The cat is pointing in the other direction, so who knows what's going to happen to me once I walk through this gateway. Step 9, reward. So, like, I can't get my reward, right, because I'm too tall. My 9-foot avatar is not allowed to progress any farther. Okay, fine, I'm just going to have to teleport. You know, that's what people do in real life. Like, if you're rich, you just teleport through all this maze. It's kind of funny because you just get, like, Daddy Warbucks to buy you your credentials or whatever. Like, seriously, some guys just, like, went to jail for this. It actually happens. Okay, so now I need to pause and have some apple cider to refresh myself, because getting smart is a lot of work. Man, there's just treasure chests all over the place. They made this a little too easy. And this is the arch of homosexuality. As soon as I walk through here, I will have a liberal arts degree, and I will change my sexual orientation. Just kidding. I seriously do not mean any disrespect at all. I'm pansexual myself, so no offense. And here's the possum of enlightenment. Alright, I've reached the point where I'm trying too hard, so I'm gonna just quit the jokes. Resurrection. This is the kind of scenario where, in a real perfect world scenario, you never have to encounter this, because risk management is like the ultimate life science. You should never encounter a risk where you have to put everything on the line. That's a trick that marketing and predatory capitalists use to try to force you into a disadvantageous situation where you end up being in debt for like 40 years. Like, you don't have to play the game by their rules. I mean, clearly most of the quote-unquote successful people in the world are not playing the game by the rules. I mean, admittedly, to be fair, there are a lot of people who are playing by the rules and are still making it. They're still successful. They have, like, you know, Some of them six-figure student loan debts they have to pay off and stuff, which they might pay off before they die if they're lucky. It's just all part of playing the game, right? Uh-oh, the voice of morality, my cat Pistachia, is here to lecture me on how I need to feed her or pet her or something to improve my hero's character on this perilous journey to the hangout campfire of happiness. So yeah, I'm totally gonna take the shortcut. There's a lot of hangout spots in this little maze. Whoever designed this, I have to give you props. This is impressive. This is an impressive piece of work. Like best intentions and all that. Clearly put a lot of thought into it. It's very like well designed for what it is. Oh, this looks like the pinnacle of the rainbow ship's wheel of awesomeness. Yeah, this is a cool sim. I recommend coming in just to check it out. Maybe unlike me, try to find the beginning point of the experience so that you can actually go through it as they intended and see everything that was supposed to be seen. Oh, come on, let me out. I like how there's these elevated vistas where you can look down and see like all the stuff that you already traversed. That's kind of a neat touch. Like you can see almost the whole island from up here. That's not a door. Alright, I think I can safely put another island under my belt. I might as well go check out this ship while I'm here. Now see, these guys knew what they were doing. They didn't turn flying off like dicks. Oh, this is a cool build. I gotta admit, I'm a sucker for the pirate life. All things pirate. Although I'm not really a fan of the Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I mean, they're not bad or anything, but I feel like they overly romanticize pirates to like a level that even transcends parody. 'Cause pirating was a lot more of a sort of terrifying, sadistic, and fucked up sort of profession than it's portrayed in a lot of movies. I mean, everybody loves like the romantic aspect of pirating. Not so much the X-rated pillaging and slaying and so forth. Alright, wow, I really think I just scoured this whole sim. So, let's see if I can get rid of all these stupid notices up here. Ugh. Wow, this person did a lot of work. It kind of seems like that was an accident. Oh well. Let's see if I missed anything. Peninsula. Okay, that was the Pirate Rainbow Island. There's the ruins. That was the first place I checked out. The Eco Center. And then didn't really do too much exploring, but this is like the shopping district. I'm not really excited about that kind of stuff. It's like I've seen a million strip malls in Second Life, don't need to see another one. And here's like the dorms or whatever, the actual like living area, campground kind of atmosphere. This is a cool spot. I don't think I went over there, but it is kind of out of the way. Let's see, what do we have over here? Huh. This looks more like residential type area. I don't think I really went over here at all. None of this looks familiar. Maybe I'll just conclude by oh yeah, look at that. I was like on top of a mountain and now I'm chilling in somebody's swimming pool. This is Second Life. That was my commercial for Linden Labs. So yeah, I'm just gonna like chill in this pool and leave you all to your tumultuous thoughts and journeys on the hero's trail as I sign out and go back into the terrifying yet rewarding real world. I hope everybody enjoyed seeing Second Life through my eyes once again, hearing to my mad ramblings. Oh god, have you guys seen the Zoltan commercial? Where there's like this lady and there's like a free Zoltan button. I laugh my ass every time. She pushes the free Zoltan button and he goes, "Thanks, lady," and like the sides fall off and he's on a unicycle and he goes, "Taxi," and that's the part where I crack up because he's like on a unicycle but he's calling for a taxi cab and he has like 2 suitcases, one in each hand. Anyway, it's a funny advertisement. Just thought you should know. Alright, it's Neo Toy Story signing out. C'est la vie.